What if I told you the Trump administration is trying to strip a US senator from his military rank and pension, not because he committed a crime, but because he reminded military service members that they have a legal duty to refuse unlawful orders? That is not a hypothetical. That is happening right now. And the senator that's being targeted is Mark Kelly, a retired naval captain and combat specialist who right now is suing the Pentagon for what legal experts are calling an unprecedented abuse of federal power. Just a quick summary of what's happening. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and I laugh every time I say that. It just shows how laughable this administration is. But they're doing real harm. And he's actually just issued a formal letter of censure against Senator Mark Kelly and launched a process that could strip him of his military rank, stop his benefits from continuing, and cut off his military pension. All because Kelly appeared in a video reminding service members something that is already as black and white as possible. They need to refuse unlawful orders. You do not have to comply when you are given an order that is clearly unlawful. The motto of following orders, always just following orders, is something that we criticize as being antiquated and fascistic. People should be able to have a conscience. Just because somebody that's above you demands that you do something, if you know that is unlawful and it breaks US legal code, you should not comply. That is something that is admirable. That is something that should be celebrated. It is not something that requires the censure of a sitting senator for saying something that should be common sense. Mark Kelly is not a radical progressive. He's not a socialist. He is a moderate Democrat who is saying what's pretty clear uniform code of military justice. Kelly says that the Pentagons are clearly unconstitutional, which they are, and he's asking the courts to intervene before the executive branch has unilateral power to just deem anybody who doesn't do unlawful actions an enemy of the state. This is the video that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump are calling treasonous.
Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day.
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army.
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
I love the patriotic background music. I'm ready to give the Pledge of Allegiance right now. No, I think that it's very clear that like the United States doesn't have a good track record of following the law, whether that's international law or even our own legal codes. But I do think that it's wild that you can say as what should be a non-controversial statement like don't follow illegal orders, and that can get you your military accolades stripped from you from the current Secretary of War. Insane. So this video that Kelly appeared in came directly after what was a clear violation of international law when the Trump administration continued to do airstrikes on suspected drug smuggling boats that were in the Caribbean. And instead of addressing those allegations, the administration went after the messenger who seemed the most easily exploitable. So because Kelly is a former naval captain, he is being singled out from this entire video because the Pentagon is claiming it still has jurisdiction over him. That's the loophole that they're exploiting. Other lawmakers appeared in the same video, but only Kelly is being targeted because of his previous military experience. And this administration is testing whether it can use military discipline as a political weapon. So if Kelly claims to be a retired naval captain, he enjoyed his time in the military, he is very prideful of what he helped continue to oversee, he needs to be punished. He needs to be singled out. He needs to be used as a pawn to do the bidding of the Trump administration. I mean, this is a true social post from Donald Trump right after the video's release, claiming that the congressional members were committing seditious behavior punishable by death. This is the sitting president of the United States saying that senators that say that military service members don't have to comply to unlawful orders should be put to death. I'm smiling because I don't know how to react to this. When why is this not talked about more? How can any Trump supporter endorse this behavior? This man is a maniac and he's running the most powerful country that's ever walked the face of the earth. Legal scholars are sounding the alarm for an important reason. Never in American history has the president tried to punish a sitting senator for using military sanctions for public speech on public policy that is legally correct. The job of a senator is to speak on public policy. This erodes all pillars of democracy. I mean, the First Amendment, throw it out there, separation of powers, civilian control of a non political military, all of that, which is supposed to be foundational to our political system, completely being eroded. Kelly's job as a senator is to comment and speak out on public policy. That is what you do as a legislator. The highest form of legislator, no less. The Senate has the most control out of any congressional body when it comes to allowing laws to go through. There's only 100 senators in the country, which means every one of their voices has a lot of weight to how they view public policy in the United States. His duty as a former officer is loyalty to the Constitution, not loyalty to a political party or a particular administration. And those two roles should not be in conflict unless the president demands loyalty. Here's what the story actually signals. If a retired military official is being punished for saying don't follow illegal orders, that changes the entire incentive structure of the military. It is no longer safe to just do what is legal. You have to be obedient regardless of what's being asked of you. Retired generals are warning that this politicalization destroys one of the military's core norms, which is loyalty to the Constitution, not to any political leader. And once that norm is over, history shows exactly where that road leads. Now, this is not the first time that Hegseth's leadership has been questioned, and he hasn't even only been questioned by progressives or liberals. He's questioned by his own party. This is Republican Senator Tom Tillis speaking on CNN on why he's worried about the future under Pete Hegseth's leadership.
Tom Tillis of North Carolina. And thank you, Senator, for being here. Welcome to The Source.
Thank you.
When it comes to this Inspector General's report, the conclusion is that, in part, that Secretary Hegseth did put American forces at risk by sharing this information in a Signal group chat. Do you agree with that conclusion?
I agree. Anytime you release mission set information before the strike, you run that risk. And thank goodness that we did not tarnish one of the most extraordinary precision strikes in recent history, because it could have been that way. And so, yeah, you got to be tight on that sort of information. That's a force protection issue. It's a mission critical piece of information that could have been used by our adversaries to blow those planes out of the sky. You just don't do that.
Secretary Hegseth is framing it as total exoneration. Is that how you view this report that came out today?
No, I think at some point, just take the learning experience and move on. No one can rationalize that as an exoneration. We know that mission information was outside of the classified setting that it was trusted to be in. And, Caitlin, I don't even bring a pen into a classified briefing. We obviously don't have our phones. We don't have our watches. I don't even bring a pen in to make notes, to remove any doubt that there is something that I could have dropped or put in the trash can that I forgot about, because that's how seriously you need to take classified information. Thank God nothing bad happened. Thank God the great decision that the president made to make that strike was successful, but it could have put it at risk. And why would you send the signal that maybe this is okay? Maybe you could be exonerated by leaking information before a critical mission. Just let's move past it.
Well, and you mentioned classified briefings. There's about to be a few on.
Look, I'm fine with more transparency in government, but I'm showing this because Hegseth is not universally loved, even by his own party. This is somebody that is being challenged by both sectors of the political spectrum. So we already know that Tom Tillis is skeptical of Pete Hegseth's leadership, but he spoke directly on the Mark Kelly story on the Hill. He said that the Pentagon's censure of Kelly is ridiculous. even though he strongly criticized the Democrats' video urging service members to ignore orders they view as unjust or illegal. The video was rage bait, but my gosh, he is a US senator who operates in a political world, Tillis said, according to a reporter for the Huffington Post. I think this has a chilling effect on speech, and I've got a real problem with it, and I think Hegseth overreached, Tillis warned. When members of Hegseth's own party are saying that this is a violation of freedom of speech, that's not just political noise or commentary. This is an objective analysis of what is happening. Hegseth is overstepping his ability as head of the Secretary of War to challenge those that say that illegal action should not be followed. How many times do I have to say it? If something is illegal, you shouldn't do it. That is so clear cut. I don't know why this is bringing up any controversy. If this action stands, the military becomes an instant loyalty test. Retired officers are silenced, and lawmakers are threatened if they are not supremely loyal to those that are in positions of power. This is about whether anyone can safely say that the president is wrong, that certain actions are illegal, or even that the Constitution should come first before loyalty. Those should all be cut and dry things that people sign up for when they become a legislator. That is what should be expected of everybody, regardless of political power. And you can be sure that if this is allowed to happen to a US senator, one of 100 people in the country, the next person won't be someone in that position of power. It will be an officer, it'll be a whistleblower, it'll be a civilian with no platform at all. Democracy does not just collapse all at once. It is a slow trickle of seeing what authoritarian regimes can get away with. And that is exactly what this administration is trying to normalize.